A wireless outage for TPTEL and Rogers customers. City firefighter recruits put to the test. And the Muskeg Express is finally rolling smoothly. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Riley McManus. We'll start off with a major internet and cell service outage that has kicked thousands of Rogers and TPTEL customers offline since early this morning. Here's Beth McDaniel with the latest.
At the local coffee joint, it's cash only.
I didn't have any cash, so they're taking cash only.
No internet at the home office.
I woke up and I was like, oh, I must just have to redo my internet, and there was nothing. I went to Starbucks, they were out, and then this great little cafe was like, we have Wi-Fi, so come sit.
And online purchase systems down. The massive Rogers outage throwing morning routines out of whack, filling up cafes with Wi-Fi seekers, and some businesses dealing with a line of waiting customers trying to do the best they can.
It's hectic, you know. We have the Square reader. We're trying to connect it. It's not working for any Interac purchases because I guess Interac's down.
On Twitter, Rogers posting a tweet saying, "We know how important it is for our customers to stay connected. We are aware of issues currently affecting our networks, and our teams are fully engaged to resolve the issue as soon as possible. We will continue to keep you updated as we have more information to share."
Oh yeah, well, do you want to talk to us?
Still, there is widespread frustration.
We don't know where we are. Well, we don't know, okay, is this going to be a 1 hour problem or a 6 hour problem, or is this going to take a week? We have no idea, and we can't plan.
Some opening their wallets to pay with cash for the first time in a long while.
Well, it felt a little weird. I had to go across the street and get some.
Proving there are still times cash is king.
Here in the Northwest, all TPTEL users were impacted by the outage as the local utility has a contract with Rogers. City police had to set up a temporary 911 email for residents who don't have a landline and needed to reach out for emergency services. Along with the cellular outage, the problems also affected debit machines around the city. We took to the streets to speak with local residents who were surprised to discover that their TPTEL services were disconnected this morning. And while some looked on the positive side, many were frustrated with the outage.
Well, we were trying to have a phone call with friends out west this morning, and we couldn't get hold of them. We thought something was wrong with their phone, and then what happened was my brother's in the hospital, and we couldn't get hold of him on his phone.
But it just shows how much we depend on our cell phones and everything else.
Yeah.
Forced me to get outside.
Yeah, I'm not able to use my debit card. Thankfully, I have cash on me, but not so much that's going to get me through the day.
Well, slightly, not a lot. I have to use cash now rather than my debit card, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we're using too much debit, but I used my debit card for points, and now I'm using cash, and so maybe I should be going to the bank this afternoon.
Thunder Bay police are investigating a sudden death at Marina Park. The body was discovered early this morning. It's still unclear what happened or when the death occurred, but emergency responders were called to the vicinity of the Tai Chi Park just before 7 o'clock. Police had the area taped off and residents were being asked to avoid that part of the marina. There's no indication at this point as to whether foul play may have been involved. The Major Crimes Unit and the Forensic Investigations Unit are currently involved in the case. As of late this afternoon, police were continuing to hold the scene. A motorcyclist was rushed to the Thunder Bay Regional this morning. City police say the motorcycle collided with a pickup truck near the corner of West Arthur Street and Twin City Crossroads just after 10 a.m. There's no word on the extent of the injuries, but police say they were non-life-threatening. The investigation continues. There are signals from the province that eligibility for COVID-19 boosters could open up in the near future. Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Kieran Moore, tells the Canadian Press that a decision on the fourth dose eligibility is coming next week. Right now, those second boosters are limited to those above age 60, Indigenous populations, and immunocompromised people. There have been calls to expand access now that Ontario has seen a rise in cases and hospitalizations. The Lake of the Woods District Hospital is warning the public in the Kenora area about likely ER closures over the summer months. The hospital is working to prevent that from happening, but officials say if the emergency room does close, there could be impacts on other hospitals in the region. There are serious questions looming around the availability of locum doctors, and there could also be issues with flight cancellations and possible missed work due to COVID. Hospital CEO Ray Reset says there's just too much uncertainty to predict if and when the Kenora ER might close. But he says there are currently over 40 shifts not covered in August. In July, most of the 30 uncovered shifts were staffed by local doctors, and Reset calls their efforts heroic.
And they're just going above and beyond to keep our services going, keep Emerge open. They're such a committed group, and but they're really making a lot of personal sacrifices to do this as well, giving up on vacations, working shifts that probably are beyond anything that anybody should ever be asked to do.
The next closest hospitals are in Dryden and Winnipeg. Agreements are in place with Winnipeg to transfer patients across the border, but Reset says it's not easy for a smaller hospital like Dryden, which is also facing staffing challenges, to handle patients from Kenora. Reset is calling for increased compensation for doctors, a fast-tracking process for licensing out-of-province physicians, and a policy prioritizing sending locums to Northwestern Ontario. An Oliver Papoonge man has lost his appeal to overturn a conviction for sexually assaulting a minor. The 69-year-old accused, who cannot be named due to a publication ban, was found guilty by a local judge in 2019 on charges of sexual interference and sexual assault against a girl who was between the ages of 7 and 13 years old. The man attempted to overturn the conviction and the 8-year prison sentence, but the Ontario Court of Appeal sided with the trial judge, and both the conviction and the sentence will stand. In just a few days' time, Thunder Bay Fire Rescue's newest recruits will be officially on the job. And in order to make sure the 7 incoming firefighters are fully prepared for the rigors of the job, they took part in some intense training this week. That's as close to a real possible fire as they can get. Corey Nordstrom has a story.
All week long, the newest recruits for Thunder Bay Fire Rescue have been engaged in the last of their training, and certainly the realest, live fires.
I think we've all been looking forward to it since day one. Is just to be able to get in all our gear, be on the pumpers, be with many other individuals. Like you said, we have about 20 other guys down here right now helping us out. So we get to learn from many different views and different tactical sides of things.
Johnston is one of 7 recruits who have been accompanied by about a dozen of their future colleagues for these exercises, people that he's looked up to for years as a local that has dreamed of this day.
It's been the goal. There's nothing better than being in your hometown and being able to help and pay back to everything they've done for me, and it's a great place to be. Can't get much better.
A minimum of 3 pumper trucks are needed on scene for each of the fires extinguished over the course of the week, which make full use of the 5-story building.
Well, the simulation today was a single-story bungalow. The crews responded as we always would. We deployed hose lines, we secured a water supply, we initiated what we call transitional attack, which is our fastest way of getting water into the interior of the building through a window if possible. And then we proceed interior to complete extinguishment and to initiate our primary searches, because life safety is always our primary concern.
Where WODA has been with the recruits for 14 weeks now, running them through a wide variety of classroom and hands-on lessons.
It covers everything from basic firefighter skills into emergency medical response, all of our technical rescue disciplines such as water rescue, rope rescue, auto extrication, hazardous materials response, and kind of the coup de grace, the culmination of all our training is this final week of live fire training.
The 7 recruits will start work with Thunder Bay Fire Rescue next week, with some of them on the fire trucks as early as Monday. Corey Nordstrom, TVT News.
The Thunder Bay Salmon Association kicked off their annual Salmon Derby today. The 3-day event sees anglers from the area bringing in their biggest fish to get weighed for the chance to win prizes. There's over $20,000 worth of prizes up for grabs, with a $10,000 prize lot for first place, including a $6,000 boat. Second place will receive $3,000 in cash, and third place will get $1,500. A number of mystery prizes will also be up for grabs worth over $6,000. Anglers have to purchase a $100 ticket to enter into the competition, and they're still available for purchase to participate on Saturday and Sunday. Over 160 tickets were sold, and weigh scale operator Cameron Pernam says he expects to see a large number of fish over the weekend.
Since it has been a pretty late spring and water temperatures are still cold, talking to some of the fishermen around, it's been tough fishing, but I think that the guys out there know what they're doing, and I'm sure they'll still be able to pull through.
The salmon will be weighed in at the Marina Park boat launch from about 5 to 9 p.m. each day, and the winners will be announced on Monday. The Muskeg Express at Centennial Park is back in service and running smoothly this summer, following several years of operational issues. And City Park officials are hoping to finally have a full season of rides. Jess Clement has the details.
The Muskeg Express started up in the middle of June and has been giving rides around Centennial Park without a hitch. The locomotive was inoperable for several years due to problems with the track, including a derailment on opening day last year. But now city officials say modifications have been made to avoid any similar issues this year. Parks manager Corey Halverson says they're excited to finally have it running smoothly.
So between COVID and other times where we were out of service, we're looking forward to having a full season. It's great for the park. Again, it's when you're here coming for a walk, especially with young kids, it's really nice, something interesting to do while you're here.
The ride has been in operation for decades and has a special place in the hearts of many Thunder Bay residents. We spoke to some parents who were excited to bring their kids to an attraction that they haven't been on since they were children.
It was super fun. I haven't been in years. This is her first time. It's exciting that things are opening back up because it was a long mat leave with nothing.
Things from when we were little coming back, and I see that they're building the new park, and to bring our kids here where we grew up is super cool.
While taking the Muskeg Express, riders will be able to get a glimpse of Centennial Park's new playground, which is currently under construction. Halverson says that the majority of the work will be finished by the end of July.
At that time, we'll be doing our final deficiency inspections. So once we get to that point, we'll have a better understanding of exactly what the opening date will be. But we're looking at the majority of construction to be done by the end of July.
The Muskeg Express will be operating from Wednesday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. right up until Labor Day weekend. Jessica Clement, TBT News.